fans are fired up because there was some back and forth. We knew EA Sports was working on a new college football game. Then there was some concern about whether it was going to be able to get out. It is returning. We now know, thanks to an announcement and a teaser trailer from EA Sports. More information to come in the months ahead. A release, I think, along the classical release calendar. Expecting it sometime this summer. Tom, what's on your checklist? What's on Tom's checklist for the new EA Sports college football game?
First of all, I enjoy the people going through that trailer like a Zapruder film, trying to find the date for the release, and they're thinking like it's on you, like that clip thing at the end where they, do the cut board or whatever it's called. Yeah. They're looking at all the numbers on that, trying to decipher a date for the release to see if it was a hidden message.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, there's people are desperate to have this game back. A lot of nerds who had lonely days playing college football.
No. Hey,
I'm throwing myself in that group. I played it for hours, man. What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to playing it more than anything. It's been a while since I've had a video game that I've played, because I just haven't played Madden in a very long time. It got boring to me quick. College football was much more fun. I will say my only real ask for what they do is don't make the recruiting so time intensive. That was the one thing that would annoy me during Dynasty mode, where it's like I just wanted to play the game and I had to spend 20 minutes going through all the recruiting stuff. If you could do that but not make it as time intensive, that would be great.
I like that. It makes a lot of sense. So I'm probably going to buy a PS5 to get this game.
I know. I don't think it's going to work on my my Xbox 360 that sounds like a jet engine every single time I fire it up.
I've got a PS2, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to work.
I have a 4. Will it work on the 4? Please make it work for the 4. I can't afford to buy a 5.
I mean, business expense, right? If we're the number one college ball podcast out there, I feel like that's a legitimate business expense.
I'll tell you what, I am speaking for the fans here. I do not want to see recruiting involve microtransactions, because back when this game was out in like 2013 and 2014, we really hadn't had the explosion that you see in FIFA, like in the NBA games, where you're like leveling up either takes an absurd amount of time or money. And I don't think that's, while it is in the spirit of college football and the idea that it takes money to build a roster, I would feel like that is an unfair playing experience if we bring that into the game as well.
Can you imagine having to buy players for both your real and your fake team? That's
just like we got our guy, Carolina superfan Delbert Jenkins, who's back to eating ramen just because Mac moved the goalpost and said $1 mill's not enough. We need $5 million. He's having ramen every single night, sending $9 donations to the Heals for Life campaign. I mean, Delbert's fingers are swelling, and you're asking him to also pay to build a Carolina roster on the PS5 too? Come on now.
I mean, if you're EA, don't you just try to keep this as simple and fun as possible in year one? And then if you have more complex plans, roll it out. But the game's going to sell based on nostalgia in large part. Mm-hmm. Do a good job with the gameplay. Make the menus a little more navigable than they are in Madden. That's not my OG take, because I haven't been playing video games for a minute. But I think it's just going to be awesome, man. Like I want to see something that I remember, but better functionality. Really, like is kind of what I want out of it.
Got to do this.
So I want to be in the game.
Sim the recruiting. You could sim it, right?
You can sim the recruiting. Get the stadiums and the songs right, and I don't mean like correct. I mean just like do it well. Like build, like if you really want to capture it, and I understand that that's not the gameplay part. We can sit here and talk about whether we think that they got the read option controls and the rhythms of all that kind of stuff with your primary and your secondary read on some of those later games. I'm sure those are going to be a big thing to a lot of the football heavy fans, but a lot of people who like this game are just going to be throwing it to the button hook or the crossing route or handing it off and running it up the middle. But they want to hear the sounds, they want to see the stadium shots, and they want to be able to create that environment. You get the pageantry right. I'm trying not to sound cheesy, but I think I feel strongly about this. You get the pageantry right, people will overlook ultimately minor, gameplay complaints.
Well, I think now that they have the licensing stuff on the right track or handled or whatever, and this is not a, basically something that is not off the books, but just sort of like more official, right? The schools are going to be all in on that, aren't they? Like you're going to want, Osceola, you're going to want Traveler, you're going to want Ralphie, and like real stuff from that. You're going to want to, be able to see the sunset in the Rose Bowl if you play a game at a certain time, right? Like
Godfrey won't want to see that.
No, that's true. Oh man. We have. Oh, can you do like custom uniforms? Would be good. Like throwback stuff you can unlock. I think we had that in the old game, which worked.
Yeah, I mean the dynasty mode I would expect to be intact. Road to Glory, which was their version of you're only one player and you get to go be that one player. I expect that will still be mostly intact as well. My own selfish perspective, a lot of my love of NCAA football was communal. It was sitting down, picking up the sticks for an exhibition. You hit random 3 times and you get to pick one of the 3 randoms that you drew. And then you just go and you cut it up and you see how it goes. And so in that sense, like, let's make it so that when you are going through that process of just picking up the game to play it, it's cool. It reminds you of what Saturdays sound and feel like. And yeah, I mean, and the players should be able to get coin off of it, right?
Mm-hmm. But I also want to see us in the game, like they do with NBA 2K, where they have, so that way when I lose a game, there's just like a tweet from Bud screaming that my ass should be fired. I really, this guy can't recruit. Get rid of him.
Coach Fornelli has moved down in Bud Elliott's coach rank.
Yeah. Bud Elliott tweet heading into the season. This is a schedule of someone who's going to be fired.
So can we, in talking to coaches, the way they think about things are just so different than like message board fans. Like message boards, like play the freshman. The coach is like, that guy knows like an eighth of our playbook. It would be that'd be something cool to see, right? Like you sign the 5-star freshman, but maybe his like athletic score is crazy high, but maybe his like awareness score is super low, and it makes it to where, I don't know, like maybe there's certain areas of the playbook that you can only unlock by playing more.
It comes down to
maybe that already
blatantly.
exists.
It did. Like just
okay, all right.
You'd put dudes out there, they just miss blocks. Just like, if they didn't have and that came, each offseason their scores improved. I loved our friend Kevin Clark. He made a comment. He said, I cannot wait to cut like a 96 ranked junior just so that I can get this like 95 ranked freshman who's going to project out higher. You start building a juggernaut and get some ruthless decision making with the oversigning that you used to be able to get away with in that thing.
Yeah, I was kind of a hypocrite because I'd be like, I can't believe they're just cutting these kids. They're supposed to honor their scholarships, and then I'd log onto the game. I'd be like, nah, get rid of this dude. Get rid of this dude. Screw this kid. I don't care. Go work at McDonald's. Get the hell off my team.
Yeah, I got up to like 92 scholarship players, and I would just like reverse sort whoever was the lowest rated. Didn't matter. You're out. You're gone.
You're a junior and only an 83. Get the hell off my football team.
Are you even going to the training table?
Now, with the transfer portal, do we think there will be like a happiness score? Like maybe there's a guy who maybe he's got a locker room element. It's like, okay, you can't cut this guy even though he's like a bad player, but his locker room score is real high and he's buddies with all the good guys on the team. Like if you cut him, they're pissed.
Yeah, they do EAFC now. Sorry, I called it FIFA. But they do have that with like your players, like you have to keep them happy. Like if they're supposed to be a starter and you're resting them or not playing them too often, they get pissed and it affects your team's performance.
And the old game had that too. If you would convince someone not to go pro, you would have to convince them and promise them something. And then they would let you keep track of your promises in terms of whether or not you were following up on them.
But that never really mattered in the game. At least I didn't find it did much.
Well, I mean,
if you're going to do it, make it matter.
Well, all of my promises are you're going to compete for a conference champion. And obviously I was just rocking and rolling. So that was an easy one to hit.
Who would you guys have on the cover?
Caleb.
You don't think you're going to be an active player to celebrate the fact they have players' rights? Because I was thinking Caleb is
active.
I thought Tom brought up a great point, or maybe one or two of you said we don't have a great quarterback like star power, name recognition, whatever.
I would put Shador on there. I think
Shador.
Shador
I
could be
think
on
I think I
there.
would sell the most. Like you'd have a lot of people celebrate it. You'd have some people hating on it. I think Shador from a business perspective makes a ton of sense.
Everybody would say
Saban.
that he should be the #1 pick in the draft. If he's not, why is he on the cover of the video game? And you'll be like, well,
I don't know. Tailgate might have the answer. Nick Saban.
yeah, I guess.
I think they're going to want to celebrate that they have like real active players in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I don't know. That's a guess on my part.
Regional
I do like the
covers will
idea.
do it like Phil Steele.
They could do regional covers, yeah. Or they'll just have multiple covers and you can choose the one you want.
All right. So if you went regional, Southeast is Carson Beck.
Probably. Maybe Quinn Ewers in the Southwest. Big
Yeah.
10, you're going to have, I don't know, Trevion Henderson.
Probably.
Will Johnson. I don't know. It has to be a big school, but
Donovan Edwards.
Donovan Vendor, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Scored touchdowns for the national champion last year. Feels like
that. Out west,
Miller Moss.
we're not putting Dylan Gabriel on the cover of EA, right?
They might.
they might.
This is the point. Like there's
Yeah,
so
there's
many
really-
guys. Yeah,
The COVID thing, it's going to be an odd season because a lot of guys got the extra eligibility. Some guys, there isn't a superstar coming in that you're just super set on, which again, going off topic here, another reason why a lot of quarterbacks you don't think should be drafted very highly are going to be drafted highly this year.
A lot of quarterbacks that you don't think are going to be drafted highly in the NFL draft this year are going to be drafted highly because those
Because of
NFL
uncertainty surrounding next year's QB class.
and if NFL teams don't want to wait until next year, might as well take one of the guys now.
Whereas at this time last year, they were like, well, Caleb Williams, Drake May, these guys are all coming out next year, so maybe we don't have to go for it now. Whereas next year, they're like, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers? And like I said, if Carson Beck came out this year, I would have him going. I think he might have been a second-round pick.
yeah.
At worst.
So the other one from Tailgate said a sort of collage of all the Heisman winners from since the game's been gone that they couldn't use before.
Oh,
To celebrate them. That'd be cool. Or like maybe you do. How long's it been gone? 9 years?
10. It was the last one.
2014 was the last
summer.
one.
So
Yeah, it
10
was
years.
the summer of 13 was when they
Mhm.
released NCAA 14.
So maybe do 5 covers with 2 guys on it each.
Something. I like that. Get to
Or you can put yourself on the cover. Just custom made for an extra $10. Send in a photo of you. We'll put you on the cover.
no. I mean, that you give Joey Burrow a shine. You give Devonta Smith a shine. Get all the guys that have been in there over the years. They get a chance to be on it.
Just put Puddles on the cover.
His name is the Duck.
Yeah, he's Puddles.
I know.
So it's not Puddles.
That's the Oregon Duck is his official name, but the real
Right.
ones call him Puddles.
That's right. As Mama named him the Oregon Duck, I'm gonna call him the Oregon Duck. All right, one last.
My mama
little note.
named me Thomas. You don't call me that.
Was it? What did your mama name you like those 7 names that you made me put on your wedding invitation?
Yeah.